Marijuana.
Blake Production.
Alright, I'm going to go over some of these weed names here. I'm exhausted. The gym I've been having great workouts lately, and your boy's just mad pooch, so I sound a bit tired, but we're going to get into this weed breakdown here. Now, I'm kind of disappointed in this weed stock. Weed stocks are just hard as hell, right? Again, when you're in a downtrend, right, like this, the opportunity you have to make money is really only in the up phase, right? So that is the opportunity you have to make money. This is the opportunity right here. And it's tough, right? Because you have such a smaller window to actually make money in a stock when it's downtrending. So these pot stocks have been in a massive downtrend for over a year now. So what we're looking for is to see how are we going to reverse if we are. And what I'm looking at is a little bit of bullish divergence here, but I wouldn't really rely on that. I wanted to see us hold this range. This range is important because it would basically signal that we're starting to base out sideways. If we can hold this 854 area on canopy growth. Now, if we can hold it sideways, that's a signal that we could be basing out, and it just might need a little bit more time for the trend to reverse. So when we're looking at this weekly time frame, right, we want to see the bearish volume drop off, and we want to see us get up over the 8 EMA and hold it. But each time we do, we've had a week of very bearish reactions. So right now, we might need to be a little bit more patient on these pot stocks. Now, when I look at Hexo, it's something similar, right? Massive downtrend. We were unable to hold this higher low that we made. This was just a hourly higher low. It looks like right now, this zone is potentially being held. We want to, again, break up over the 8 moving average. That will tell us that there's characteristics changing in the stock's price, which will eventually get buyers to have more interest in the stock. So we have earnings coming up on March 17th. Earnings are more of a gamble type of trade if you want to just play the earnings, because you don't know if they're going to beat it or if they're going to, get demolished on earnings. You never know. So what I'd be looking for, and I know I've been saying this a lot, but it's huge, right? We need to hop up over this 8 EMA. The one thing that is kind of bullish is that we potentially have this double bottom pattern going on from a weekly time frame right around this zone. So that, again, could be signaling that we are basing in this area. So you're obviously better from a risk to reward perspective to be buying around this range than you are at like 90 cents like I did, right? That might have been a little bit too early, and I took a loss on that trade and ended up getting out at it was like 77 cents or something like that. So GTII, this stock here, what I'm looking for on GTII is, are we creating this higher low? I like how we have this wick rejecting this price range that we were in earlier. So back in late January, early February, this is where we were basing. We had a nice decent push. We come all the way back down into this range, but we're starting to see wick. So you want to see that continue. We beat earnings on this stock. So right now would be a great place to look for that higher low and then maybe continue and try to defeat this zone. Right now, all these pot stocks though, we're lacking the amount of buyers in this sector, right? So things aren't really hyping up right now, which is, it's tough to see especially because they're so undervalued technically, right? I feel like the pot industry has a lot of potential upside. So if you're looking for like these names to perform well, I would definitely lengthen my time frame and like really manage my risk around that trade, right? Maybe invest like 1,000 and hold it for a couple years. So then that upside would be huge, right? So investing 1,000 maybe around this range, but if you're expecting the potential of it to really get that pop, right? $17, it could get up to there. That's 100% trade. It has been up to $57, $59, right? Not saying it's going to go up there again, but the upside's there just because in terms of US legalizing and what the business can do in terms of entering, that side of like the market. So it's interesting. The pot stocks are like, in my opinion, some of them are undervalued, but like straight up from like a technical perspective, like a lot of these names are literally down like higher than 80%, 87%. So I think we just need a little bit of time. Eventually we'll get that pop on one of these names. Peace, guys.